Welcome to Milan's Streets of Style. Here, fashion meets creativity, and every look tells a story. Join me for a quick dive into the coolest street styles of Milan. Milan has long carried the title of the world's fashion capital. But what sets it apart is not only the runways of Prada, Armani, or Versace. The true soul of Milanese fashion lives on the sidewalks, where everyday people transform the streets into living galleries. Walking through Milan feels like stepping into an ever-changing exhibition of style, where elegance is instinctive and individuality is celebrated. To understand Milan's street fashion is to understand the city itself, a place where tradition meets rebellion, where history and modernity walk side by side, and where clothing becomes both a form of identity and a form of art. The roots of Milanese style stretch far back into history. During the Renaissance, Milan was not just a center of politics and religion, but also of textile production and craftsmanship. The city was known for its rich silks, intricate embroidery, and luxurious fabrics that traveled across Europe. This legacy of precision and artistry continues today, echoed in the way a Milanese coat is cut, or how a simple white shirt is pressed. Milan's history taught its citizens that clothing is more than protection from the weather. It is a signal of refinement and respect for beauty. As time moved forward into the 20th century, Milan became the beating heart of Italian design. The 1960s brought with it a wave of modernism, sleek suits, sharp tailoring, and a confidence that reflected the economic boom. In the 1980s, power dressing and bold silhouettes emerged, influenced by designers like Armani, who redefined what it meant to be sophisticated. The street began to mirror these shifts. Office workers in tailored suits during the day, students experimenting with denim and sneakers by night. Milan's streets were always a mirror of the social and cultural climate, adapting while maintaining their unique sense of elegance. Today, walking through areas like Brera or Navigli reveals the city's dual personality. On one corner, you may see a young designer in oversized trousers and chunky sneakers, blending streetwear with minimalist chic. On another, an older Milanese gentleman carries himself in a perfectly tailored coat, polished loafers, and a silk scarf knotted with ease. This coexistence of generations creates a layered fashion dialogue where every outfit seems to respond to another, blending timeless tradition with youthful energy. Milan's architecture plays a subtle but powerful role in shaping its style. The city's mix of Roman ruins, Renaissance cathedrals, and modern glass skyscrapers creates a visual contrast that is reflected in its clothing. Just as the Duomo stands tall and white marble against a backdrop of contemporary design, Milani's fashion balances old-world craftsmanship with futuristic experimentation. The streets become stages where clothes are in harmony with the environment. Structured blazers, echoing geometric buildings, flowing dresses, moving like water beside canals, and bold sneakers contrasting against cobblestones that have witnessed centuries of history. One cannot speak about Milanese street style without mentioning diversity. The city is a magnet for people from all over the world. Students, artists, entrepreneurs, and fashion professionals who bring their cultures with them. You see African prints paired with Italian tailoring, Asian minimalism infused into casual Milanese outfits, Latin American vibrancy shining through accessories and patterns. This melting pot does not dilute Milanese identity, it enriches it. The essence of Milan style is not uniformity, but harmony, where different voices come together to create a single rhythm. Every season transforms the Milanese wardrobe. In winter, layering is key. Cashmere coats, wool scarves, leather gloves, and boots designed to survive damp cobblestones while looking impeccable. Autumn brings earthy tones, trench coats, and textures like corduroy and tweed. Spring lightens the mood with linen blazers, silk dresses, and pastel accents that echo the blossoms across the city. Summer is marked by lightweight shirts, flowing skirts, and chic sunglasses, with style adapted for heat, yet never careless. Each season is a chance to reimagine the language of clothing while staying faithful to the city's emphasis on elegance and fit. Accessories remain central to Milan's fashion vocabulary. A pair of sunglasses is almost a signature, worn not just for the sun, but for the attitude they bring. Handbags often speak louder than entire outfits, with leather crafted in workshops that have existed for generations. Watches are discreet but luxurious, reflecting a culture where quality is valued more than ostentation. Even the smallest details, like the choice of belt buckle or the knot of a tie, are curated with care.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, ma ci s'è tuato giro d'amor. Delle belle
Shoes tell their own story. A Milanese outfit often begins from the ground up. Loafers in supple leather, ankle boots in suede, elegant heels for evening walks through Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, or pristine sneakers that carry a stamp of modernity. Every choice reflects both practicality and pride. In Milan, you never see shoes as an afterthought. They are the anchor of identity, the punctuation mark of every look.
quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non chiudrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo, ma ci s'è tuato giro d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo.
Streetwear has also found its place here. Influenced by global trends, Milan's youth have embraced hoodies, graphic tees, and sneakers, but with a twist. Unlike in other cities where streetwear can overwhelm, Milan filters it through its lens of refinement. A hoodie becomes chic when layered under a camel coat. Sneakers look sophisticated when paired with tailored trousers. Logos are not splashed recklessly, they are subtle, almost whispered. This is Milan's way. Even rebellion is edited.
Per montagne, per valloni, con le nevi e salioni, al concerto di tromboni, di bombarde e di cannoni, che le porre tutti i tuoni all'orecchio fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei pennacchini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai quella chioma, non più
And then there is Fashion Week. During these days, the city transforms into a living runway. Outside the shows, the sidewalks are crowded with influencers, editors, and enthusiasts who treat the streets as their stage. Outfits here are bold, experimental, and daring, mixing avant-garde ideas with classic Milanese elegance. Cameras flash, and social media carries these images worldwide within seconds. But even amidst the spectacle, the Milanese DNA of refinement, balance, and confidence remains visible.
alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar.
Social media has amplified this phenomenon. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have turned everyday outfits into global references. Influencers such as Chiara Ferragni and many others document their daily lives in carefully crafted looks that blend high fashion with accessible pieces. Their reach ensures that Milan's street style is not confined to Italy, but resonates worldwide, inspiring young people from London to Seoul. The city's fashion has become borderless, yet it never loses its distinctive accents. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of Milan's street style is how it mirrors society itself. Fashion here is a reflection of economic shifts, cultural movements, and political currents. In times of prosperity, clothing becomes bolder, more luxurious. During moments of uncertainty, styles lean into minimalism and practicality. Immigration waves bring new textures and patterns, while digital culture introduces virtual fashion and online communities that shape what people wear in real life. Milan's streets are, in many ways, a diary of its citizens' hopes, struggles, and aspirations. As technology evolves, so will fashion in Milan. Augmented reality shopping, digital clothing for online avatars, and collaborations with AI-driven designers are already emerging. Yet, even as the future accelerates, Milan will hold onto its foundations: tailoring, craftsmanship, and attention to detail. The physical and digital may blend, but the soul of Milanese style will continue to prioritize harmony, balance, and individuality. What makes Milan's street style truly inspiring is its ability to remain timeless while always evolving. It respects the past but welcomes the future. It values luxury but embraces simplicity. It celebrates individuality but creates a collective identity. Walking through Milan, you don't just see clothes. You see a culture of people who understand that style is not about following trends, but about expressing who you are with elegance and purpose. Fashion in Milan is also shaped by its rhythm of daily life. Early in the morning, as cafes open and the smell of espresso fills the air, you see workers heading to their offices in carefully chosen outfits. A crisp blazer, a silk blouse, trousers pressed to perfection. Even when time is short, people make the effort, because in Milan, style is a form of respect for yourself and for others. At midday, students pour out of universities, mixing vintage denim with clean sneakers and tote bags filled with books. By evening, the Navigli district glows with people meeting for aperitivo, where coats drape casually over chairs and accessories sparkle under soft lights. Each moment of the day adds a new chapter to the story of Milan's street style. art and design also flow directly into fashion. Milan is home to world-class museums, galleries, and the famous Salone del Mobile design fair. The geometry of architecture, the textures of modern furniture, and the colors of contemporary art often echo in clothing choices. A sharply cut coat might reflect the lines of a skyscraper, while a patterned dress could mirror the mosaics inside the Duomo. In Milan, fashion is not separate from art. It is an extension of it. Creativity moves seamlessly from canvas to clothing, from sculpture to silhouette. Another important layer comes from Milan's role as an international hub. The city is home to designers, photographers, models, and stylists from around the world. This creates an exchange of ideas that constantly refreshes its fashion scene. You might see a Japanese-inspired kimono paired with Italian leather boots, or a West African print dress layered under a minimalist European coat. The dialogue of cultures does not erase Milan's identity, it strengthens it. The city becomes a global stage where every influence is adapted into something uniquely Milanese. Seasonal events, beyond Fashion Week, also influenced street style. During Christmas, the city glitters with lights and clothing reflects the festive spirit. Velvet dresses, shimmering accessories, luxurious coats. In spring, the city's parks come alive with blossoms and people wear lighter fabrics, pastel colors, and floral accents. Summer brings effortless elegance, with linen shirts, wide-brimmed hats, and sunglasses defining the look. Autumn is perhaps the most Milanese of seasons, when earthy tones and structured outerwear align perfectly with the golden light of the city. These seasonal shifts prove that Milanese style is alive, breathing with the rhythms of the year. Luxury brands are, of course, central to Milan. Gucci, Prada, Armani, Versace, and Dolce & Gabbana are more than names. They are part of the city's DNA. But what is striking about Milan is that luxury is not flaunted, it is integrated. A Prada coat might be worn with vintage jeans, an Armani suit paired with sneakers, a Versace accessory balanced by a simple monochrome outfit. The Milanese philosophy is that luxury should enhance life, not dominate it. A true sense of style comes not from wearing expensive labels head to toe, but from combining pieces in a way that feels authentic. This approach explains why vintage and secondhand fashion thrive in Milan. Shoppers search for unique treasures that carry history. A handbag from decades ago, a tailored jacket with character, or a piece of jewelry with a story to tell. Wearing vintage is not about nostalgia. It is about continuity, about connecting past craftsmanship with present expression. It also aligns with the growing sustainability movement, reminding people that true elegance is timeless. The influence of music and subcultures has also left its mark. Jazz clubs, underground electronic scenes, and even hip-hop culture have all shaped how young Milanese dress. Musicians, DJs, and artists bring a sense of edge to the city's style, introducing bomber jackets, bold graphics, and unconventional layering. But again, the Milanese touch softens these influences, refining them so they sit comfortably beside tailored coats and silk dresses. Tourists who visit Milan often notice this balance immediately. Unlike in some cities where fashion can feel performative, in Milan it feels natural. People don't dress well to show off. They dress well because it is a part of daily life. Clothing is like language. It communicates who you are, where you're going, and how you respect the world around you. This quiet confidence is what makes Milan so magnetic. Visitors may arrive as observers, but they often leave inspired to rethink their own wardrobes. The philosophy of Milanese dressing can be summed up in a few ideas. Fit comes first, quality is better than quantity, color should be curated, and individuality must always shine. Milan teaches us that fashion is not about chasing every trend, but about building a wardrobe that reflects your true self. A small set of versatile, well-made pieces can create infinite possibilities when combined with imagination and confidence. As we look toward the future, Milan is already experimenting with new frontiers. Digital fashion, virtual showrooms, and artificial intelligence are becoming part of the landscape. Imagine trying on a Milanese outfit through augmented reality before ever stepping into a store, or owning digital versions of your favorite pieces for your online life. These technologies may sound futuristic, but in Milan, they are already blending with centuries of craftsmanship. The city proves that tradition and innovation are not enemies, they are partners. And yet, despite all these changes, one truth remains. Milan's street style is about humanity. It is about the way clothing reflects our personalities, our moods, and our cultures. It is about the pride of stepping into the world each day dressed with intention, whether in a suit or a simple sweater. It is about the confidence that comes not from wealth or fame, but from authenticity. In the end, Milan reminds us that fashion is not just about what we wear, it is about how we live. On its sidewalks, style is not a costume or a performance, but a habit, a rhythm, a way of moving through the world. And as long as people continue to walk these streets with elegance and creativity, Milan will remain not just a capital of fashion, but a capital of style.
Beyond the runways and boutiques, Milan's fashion identity is shaped by everyday families. Walk through a Sunday market and you will see parents guiding children in carefully chosen outfits. Simple sweaters, small leather shoes, tiny coats with perfect cuts. In Milan, style is taught from an early age. Clothing becomes part of education, a silent lesson in presentation and respect. Young people grow up surrounded by the idea that what you wear is not vanity, it is culture. This early exposure explains why teenagers in Milan often appear effortlessly stylish. Their sense of taste is nurtured, not forced, and their choices reflect both freedom and heritage.
Workers, too, contribute to Milan's street fashion in ways that often go unnoticed. Delivery riders in bright jackets, tram drivers with neat uniforms, artisans leaving workshops in worn denim aprons, all form part of the city's visual tapestry. Milan's style does not only belong to fashion influencers, it belongs equally to the craftsmen,
the shop assistant, the barista. The clothes, though practical, still carry the Milan spirit of neatness and purpose. Even utility becomes stylish when seen through the lens of Milan's street culture. Independent designers have carved out a crucial role in shaping this landscape. Away from the spotlight of luxury houses, small ateliers across Milan experiment with recycled fabrics, handcrafted jewelry, and radical silhouettes. These designers bring freshness, often challenging established norms. Many of them sell directly in local markets or through social media, blurring the line between creator and consumer. Their work reflects the democratic side of Milanese fashion, that style does not belong only to the elite, but thrives in the creativity of ordinary people.
The nightlife of Milan reveals another dimension of its style. As the city lights up after dark, the streets become a playground for bold experiments. Clubs in the Porta Venezia and Corso Como districts attract crowds dressed with fearless imagination. Sequins, leather, metallic fabrics, futuristic shapes. Nighttime fashion is often exaggerated, designed to catch the eye under neon lights and strobes. Yet even here, Milanese precision appears. Outfits remain balanced, never losing the elegance that defines the city. The energy of nightlife pushes boundaries, showing how Milan's street style is not fixed, but constantly reinvented. Economically, fashion is the heartbeat of Milan. Street style itself has become a form of soft power, attracting photographers, bloggers, and tourists. The sidewalks outside fashion shows often host as many cameras as the runways inside. Local businesses, from cafes to boutiques, benefit from this attention. Street style fuels content for magazines, social media, and advertising campaigns, turning ordinary citizens into trendsetters. In this sense, Milanese style is both culture and industry, both identity and economy. Technology accelerates this process. Social media platforms amplify Milan's influence, allowing a look spotted on the streets to travel worldwide within hours. But beyond Instagram, new tools are emerging. Augmented reality allows shoppers to preview outfits digitally. Artificial intelligence helps stylists suggest combinations that fit Milan's aesthetics. Digital tailoring software allows precise adjustments before a garment is even made. These technologies don't replace Milan's craftsmanship, they enhance it. The future of Milani style may be as much about pixels as it is about fabrics, yet the essence remains unchanged. Harmony, proportion, individuality. Immigrant communities add further richness. North African influences bring flowing garments and bold jewelry. Asian cultures introduce delicate patterns and layered textures. Latin American traditions inspire vivid colors and dynamic prints. These influences blend seamlessly with Italian classics, creating hybrid styles unique to Milan. A student might wear a traditional African head wrap with a European blazer, or an Asian-inspired silk dress paired with Italian leather shoes. This cultural fusion reflects Milan's identity as a global crossroads, and it ensures that its street style never becomes stagnant. What truly unites all these elements is individuality. Milanese people resist being carbon copies of one another. Instead, they build personal narratives through clothing. Some emphasize minimalism, some embrace maximalism. Some play with irony, while others remain loyal to timeless classics. The result is a city where diversity is not only accepted, but celebrated. On a single street, you may see a business executive in a sleek suit, a teenager in vintage streetwear, an artist in experimental layers, and an elder in polished traditional attire. Each tells a story, and together they form the chorus of Milan's street style. The philosophy that emerges from this chorus is deeply humanistic. Fashion is not about dominance or superiority. It is about dialogue. The suit speaks to the sneaker, the vintage dress to the futuristic jacket, the old to the young. This conversation takes place every day on sidewalks, piazzas, and tram stops. Milan becomes a living gallery where the exhibit is never static, always evolving with the people who walk its streets. Looking ahead, one can imagine Milan continuing to lead global fashion by blending its traditions with radical innovation. The city may pioneer virtual fashion neighborhoods where people share digital outfits as easily as physical ones. It may push sustainable fashion into mainstream culture, setting an example for the world. It may continue to inspire designers from Tokyo to New York, who look to Milan not only for trends, but for philosophy. Because ultimately, Milan does not just teach us how to dress, it teaches us how to see fashion as an extension of life itself.
To understand Milan's street style is to understand Milan's soul, a soul that values beauty without arrogance, tradition without rigidity, modernity without chaos, a soul that thrives on creativity, resilience, and the joy of expression. This is why the city remains magnetic. No matter how fashion changes, the streets of Milan will always whisper the same message. Style is not just in the clothes. It is in the way you live, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself.
Another fascinating element of Milan's street style is how it interacts with architecture. The city itself is a stage. The marble of the Duomo, the glass of Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, the sleek lines of modern towers and Porta Nuova. Outfits often echo these surroundings, almost like silent dialogue between stone, steel, and fabric. A sharply tailored suit mirrors the symmetry of Renaissance facades. A flowing dress in soft pastel might recall the light over the Navigli canals. In Milan, the city and its citizens dress in harmony, blurring the line between fashion and environment. Markets and public squares also nurture this connection. Places like Porta Cicinese or Barrera are not just shopping areas. They are arenas where style is tested, exchanged, and reimagined. Street vendors selling vintage scarves, artisans offering handmade leather belts, and local designers displaying bold jewelry all add layers to Milan's fashion story. People who walk these markets do not simply buy clothes. They absorb inspiration, experiment with new identities, and carry these influences back into the ebb and flow of the city. One cannot ignore the role of gender and identity in Milan's street fashion. Traditional norms coexist with bold redefinitions. Men in Milan are unafraid of elegance: slim trousers, fine coats, subtle jewelry. Women embrace power dressing with sharp blazers, yet balance it with fluid dresses or bold heels. At the same time, non-binary and queer communities enrich the city's style with fearless creativity, mixing masculine and feminine codes, bending conventions, and proving that fashion is ultimately about freedom. The city's progressive spirit allows these expressions not only to exist, but to flourish, turning sidewalks into spaces of inclusion and empowerment. Education is another pillar. Milan is home to world-renowned fashion schools, such as Istituto Marangoni and Politecnico di Milano. Students from around the world come here to study design, styling, and fashion business. Their presence is visible on the streets. Outfits that double as experiments, daring combinations, prototype accessories. The city becomes a laboratory where young talent tests ideas that may shape the next decade of fashion. Every street corner can feel like a classroom where innovation is worn instead of written. Milan's love for detail often surprises outsiders. It's not only about the jacket or the shoes. It's the stitching, the buttons, the cut of a pocket, the fold of a scarf. These small elements transform a simple outfit into something refined. Accessories carry this philosophy further. A carefully chosen watch, a leather bag with subtle patina, sunglasses that balance proportion perfectly. To the Milanese, these details are not decoration, but language. They speak of patience, care, and an appreciation for craft. Sports have also influenced Milan's fashion. Football, a central passion in the city, finds its way into street style. Jerseys of AC Milan or Inter Milan appear paired with luxury sneakers or tailored jackets, creating a curious fusion of athletic pride and urban elegance. Cycling culture, too, has left its mark. Slim-fit trousers, breathable fabrics, and messenger bags often reflect the needs of those navigating the city on two wheels. In Milan, sport and fashion do not compete. They merge into a style that is both dynamic and stylish. The city's rhythm of events ensures that street style never stagnates. From design weeks to cultural festivals, every gathering sparks new waves of creativity. During the Salone del Mobile, for instance, the streets fill with designers, architects, and visitors whose outfits lean towards conceptual, artistic, and experimental. During film festivals, cinema glamour influences evening wear and public spaces. These moments keep Milan alive, ensuring that fashion here is never static but constantly evolving with culture. Finally, Milanese street style carries a quiet philosophy. Style is not about being noticed, but about being remembered. An outfit may be simple, but if it is balanced, authentic, and confident, it lingers in the memory of those who see it. This is the ultimate Milanese lesson, that true fashion is not a costume worn for approval, but an expression of identity worn with dignity. Another striking dimension of Milan's fashion culture lies in its relationship with tradition and memory. Clothing here often carries stories: an inherited coat from a grandfather, a silk scarf passed down through generations, a pair of shoes carefully repaired instead of discarded. These garments are not just fabric. They are living archives of family history. To wear them is to honor the past, while at the same time bringing it into the present. This practice reinforces the idea that in Milan, fashion is not disposable, but enduring, an extension of identity across time.